people? It's your boy, Chris Dom One, and I am back with another video. And another topic. We're gonna be talking about Kevin Love, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and what happened between the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are struggling. And they're struggling bad. Sorry about talking and eating at the same time. I apologize for that. But your boy was hungry. So, that recent loss with the Thunder, on top of the loss with Golden State, a lot of the Cav players, as well as the organization, are saying to themselves, well, I don't think we have it this year. And there's a strong possibility that we're not even going to make it to the NBA Finals. And we may have even a hard time and a hard hill and a hard road when you're talking about the Eastern Conference Finals, okay? Because despite the Milwaukee Bucks firing their coach, that's a good team that can give the Cleveland Cavaliers a stretch in a series. The Boston Celtics can pose some problems to the Cleveland Cavaliers in a series. And when you talk about the Miami Heat, a lot of people are sleeping on the Miami Heat, but the Miami Heat can probably steal one game, maybe two possibly, in a series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right? Now, if you've been following me, I have stated this, and I'm going to repeat it again. At the end of the day, the Cleveland Cavaliers are not going to... The possibility of the Cleveland Cavaliers losing a series in the East is a small chance, but it is a chance, okay? I don't think there's a team in the Eastern Conference that can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in 4 games, okay? I believe there's some teams there that can make it a game 6, a game 7 possibly, but I don't see a team beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I stated that the beginning of the season and 2 months ago, all right? Now, a lot of things have transpired since then, all right? And the Cleveland Cavaliers have been spiraling, okay? Now, a lot of people want to blame Kevin Love for a lot of the Cleveland Cavaliers' woes, and that's further from the truth. The problem is the Cleveland Cavaliers are an older team, okay? They're not young chickens no more. They're not long and athletic like the Milwaukee Bucks or the Boston Celtics. You know, they're an older team, okay? So they're going to have to win games differently than trying to utilize their athleticism to win games. LeBron James can do it athletic-wise, but not for long stretches, for a short period of time. They tried desperately to position Kevin Love in a position where he wouldn't hurt the team while he's on the court. They placed him as a center, and they had signs of success when they did that. But if you've been following me, I even stated that it really doesn't matter what position you put Kevin Love in. Kevin Love as an offensive player, I have no quarrels with that. The problem with Kevin Love is he can't defend, okay? He cannot defend a 3, a 4, a stretch 4, or even a 5, okay? He's going to get beaten athletically. He's going to get beaten physically, okay? Particularly when you play, when he has to defend that player in the low post. Players such as Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins is going to have their way with Kevin Love. Kevin Love, you get what you pay for, okay? When you signed Kevin Love, you knew Kevin Love was limited in certain areas. So When you talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder game, they got blew out and they lost, but they lost really bad. And they left a blueprint on how to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like it or not, love it or hate it, the Cleveland Cavaliers have weaknesses because A, they're not young anymore. They're a lot older. And the older players have deteriorated. Some of these players can give you sparks here and there, but they can't be long or consistent. LeBron James is getting older, okay? Now more than ever, LeBron James needs help, all right? So if LeBron James says he needs help, in years past, I will give him the side eye like, wait a minute, you're the best player on the planet and you're needing help. Now, when he says it, he really do. He really depends on depend on the other players on the court that play for the Cavaliers. A lot of the Cavaliers players are specialists in one thing, and when it doesn't work, they can't gravitate to any other type of style. Now, there's a report. Kevin Love claimed he was injured and they pulled him out of the game. And he missed practice shoot around the next following day. Now, a lot of people are suggesting that Kevin Love is not injured. The reason why he wanted to get out of that game because they was getting blown out, and they was getting blown out badly. But what a lot of people don't read is, if you check out the matchups Kevin Love had with the Oklahoma City Thunder, he couldn't defend anyone on that court. Okay, Ethan Cantor had his way with him. Carmelo Anthony had his way with him. The few occasions when he defended Paul George had his way with Kevin Love, because Kevin Love on the defensive end is not the best defender. All right. So you're hearing inklings about he really wasn't injured. He really just wanted to get out of that game. All right. Now, when he finally arrived, they had a closed door meeting, and it was, from all reports, intense. A lot of people were yelling, screaming, and pointing fingers. And this is what a bad team would do. All right. A bad team with high expectations, this is the first sign of cracks and chinks in the armor. The first thing they do is start blaming one another. All right. When in actuality, you are what you are, particularly with your record. Now, they're third in the East. Okay, don't get it twisted. It's not like they have fallen off dramatically, like they had the #1 spot and now they're trying to battle for the 8th playoff seed. But the more games that they play, and the further they get to the end of the road, which is the end of the regular season, a lot of these losses are going to add up with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, from their perspective, saying it really don't matter what seeding we're in. We're just ready to go to the playoffs. But the way how they're losing, one can assume that they may not even have an opportunity to get to the playoffs. All right. If you look at the East, if you look at the Miami Heat, they're getting better. Boston Celtics are the #1 seed in the East. They're definitely getting better, even though they lost to the Orlando Magic. The 76ers, they're on and off, but there's a possibility that they're battling for a playoff spot as well. I said on numerous occasions, I do not see that with the Philadelphia 76ers, but I feel like the 76ers are going to get a playoff spot because there's really not a lot of teams that's demanding and clamoring for the playoffs, and the East is kind of weak right now. Okay, so Kevin Love got into it with his fellow players, And Kevin Love said in an interview, whatever we say behind closed doors, it should stay behind closed doors. It should also, if we say something to each other on the court, it should also stay on the court. Now, why would Kevin Love say that when even Kevin Love knows that if something is juicy, it's going to get out, it's going to get leaked. The reason why Kevin Love said that is uh, with the experiences he had around LeBron James. Now, a lot of people, a lot of stuff, particularly what LeBron James says, really doesn't get out on social media, and it stays in behind closed doors. And when LeBron James had those moments of frustration, he lashed out to the other players, particularly in timeouts. But you don't hear about those conversations. Why? Because the players are in fear of LeBron James. If a player, if you want to use the word tattle, and go tell the media what LeBron James during a recent timeout, that player would no longer play for the Cleveland Cavaliers because LeBron James wielded so much control and so much power and flexing ability on the Cleveland Cavaliers that a lot of players just fall back. They know their roles, okay? So when Kevin Love said that, that's what he was alluding to. He was going like, hey, look, how come when LeBron James says and does something, it doesn't get leaked out, but when it's something about me, it gets leaked out? Now, a lot of people are trying to put two and two and trying to make, trying to say to the fact that, well, Kevin Love is probably, his days are numbered as the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we done had this talk so many times, we'll have this talk again. When you talk about NBA teams and organizations, they would love to have Kevin Love. He's a decent guy. He's a decent person. He's a team first person. He's not an eye guy. His style. I mean, when you talk about his talent is interesting. But when you compare Kevin Love's abilities to his contract outweighs his abilities, and therein lies the problem. If Kevin Love was under a manageable contract, Kevin Love would have been traded 3 times over. Okay, teams. I mean, the Spurs would love to have an individual like Kevin Love to start sometimes, to come off the bench, to provide in certain situations. Okay, but no one wants Kevin Love for that max contract. And that's why the Cleveland Cavaliers are not finding any takers for Kevin Love. Okay? So chances are the Cleveland Cavaliers are stuck with Kevin Love. It's not like, teams would love to have Kevin Love, but that contract is a pill that a lot of people do not want to swallow, right? But it is what it is. Now, when you talk about the latest rumors and trades with DeAndre Jordan and George Hill, Kemba Walker, those are interesting players. And if you put 2 of those players on the Cleveland Cavaliers squad, it will probably be very beneficial for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But here's the problem. What are you going to trade to get those stars? Because unless you're going to package a lot of players just to get one of those players, that doesn't necessarily mean you have enough to get the other players. And Dan Gilbert and the Cleveland Cavaliers organization, they are highly motivated of the recent pick. They're not going to give away that Brooklyn pick, even though that Brooklyn pick is not secure as being a 10th pick. It's dropping mainly because of Brooklyn's situation. But who knows, later on at the end of this season, maybe Brooklyn gets into a real serious dilemma when you talk about their wins and losses. Okay, but That Brooklyn pick is not as special as it once was over the summer. Now that Brooklyn pick has went from a top 5 to a top 10 to a top 15, possibly a top 20 pick. But if you're Cleveland, you don't have any picks anyway. So even if this pick winds up to be a 25th pick, uh, that's still a good pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers, considering that they went to the playoffs and they may go to the finals. They may represent the East in the finals, but they still get the 20th pick. Okay, so you have to look at it from that perspective. Now, um, with this loss, when they lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder, that was the worst time to lose to a team, because you just lost to the Golden State Warriors. You already have doubt seeping in your mind, talking about the possibility of, man, I don't think we have enough pieces. I don't think we got enough to even be worrying about the finals, much less the playoffs itself. And then now you play the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Oklahoma City Thunder is struggling, okay? And they beat you handedly, all right, with no problems and no efforts at all, okay? And you can't sit up there and say, well, we didn't have our best horses, because LeBron James was playing, Kevin Love was playing, Derrick Rose was playing, Isaiah Thomas is playing, and you get thumped like that, okay? So that even furthers more doubt into your head, okay? But you know, you know, this notion of, well, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're not energetic of playing the regular season, and they can turn it on and turn it off in a heartbeat, and this is no big deal. Or the Cleveland Cavaliers is one player away from being a better team, or there are a couple of drafts, or I mean a couple of trades away of being a better team, this, that, and the third. It's all just damage controlling and spinning. The Cleveland Cavaliers are what they are. They are an older team that's not going to get better anytime soon, and they got to ride with the pieces that they have. They can't go out and get other pieces. They're stuck with what they have, all right? Unless they're going to give away that pick. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, as an organization, will be foolish to do so, because it's not a guarantee. Even if they trade that pick away, and even if they do their little dealings to get DeAndre Jordan or George Hill, let's just say DeAndre Jordan and George Hill, and have them on the roster, still, I don't think that's going to be enough. And you're also going to be shrinking your bench, okay? Which, that's what the Golden State Warriors want you to do anyway. The Golden State Warriors are going to outpace and outrun you. They just going to wait until you get down to your eighth and ninth man, and then that's when they start doing their damage, because your best eighth and ninth man is not better than their 10th and 11th man, okay? But it is what it is. We're going to to me, I feel like the Golden State Warriors are going to make the playoffs by default, because the Eastern Conference is so weak. But I think there's some teams out there that's going to make it a great game and a great series for the Cleveland Cavaliers on the East side of things. And if the Cleveland Cavaliers make it through the finals, they're going to have problems and issues matching up with the Golden State Warriors. All right. The same could be said for the San Antonio Spurs. Now, if there's some weird, odd thing that happens where the Rockets are going to be in the West and they're going to be defending the Cleveland Cavaliers, then I think that's a better matchup for the Cleveland Cavaliers, because the Rockets don't have a bench, and they don't play defense, which is perfect to the Cleveland Cavaliers, because they don't even do defense. It'll be a scoring fest. And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers have advantages against the Houston Rockets. I don't see those advantages with the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio Spurs. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell on top of my channel. Once you subscribe, hit that bell, and then you'll be up to date. And when the next video or live stream goes down, you'll be notified. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Down One, and I am out, y'all.